Gold is the ultimate psychological trade. It's the ultimate sentiment-driven asset. It's not about fundamentals. There are no fundamentals. The gold standard has long gone, and it's probably not coming back. Let's hope not. So you really have to go by what people's sentiment is, how the sentiment is manifest in the market, and whether or not it's at an extreme. So it's really hard to make a prediction about with a specific price in mind.
Peter, what's your take on it right now, and what do you think of what Mark has to say?
Well, I disagree with just about everything that Mark said with respect to his comments on sentiment. I agree that the sentiment did get very negative on gold at the end of 2013, and it was quite positive when the year began. I still think the sentiment is quite negative on gold. Maybe not as negative as it was, but very few people believe in this rally. I hear a lot more people saying that you should short it. You should, if you have profits, you should take them. So I think the sentiment still favors higher gold prices. But the fundamentals have favored higher gold prices all along. The fundamentals for gold were great at the beginning of 2013. They were great at the end. They're great right now. It's just that most people don't understand how great they are. They believe the myth of the U.S. recovery. They believe that the Fed can actually unwind its balance sheet, that it can end QE, that it can raise interest rates, and that the economy is going to keep on expanding. None of that is going to happen. It's all fantasy. We're going to have QE infinity. There is massive inflation, and it's going to manifest itself in substantially higher gold prices.
I think what happened, I think what people really haven't been understanding and are slowly coming around to is how the transmission of monetary policy actually works. A lot of people way back in 2009, 2010 started predicting inflation and an explosion of yields, a collapse in the dollar, a whole series of things that didn't manifest themselves. Now people are starting to learn that, wait a minute, printing money does not lead to inflation automatically, particularly if you have limited credit expansion in the system.
I disagree that, first of all,
gentlemen,
we have had inflation. Printing money is inflation. Prices are rising.
Peter,
Consumer prices are rising.
Peter,
Stock prices are rising. Real estate prices are rising.
Because
the Fed wants to deny that prices are going up because they don't want to raise rates because they know we can't afford it. But I'm not going to hide behind these doctored CPI numbers and try to say there's no inflation because the CPI doesn't reveal it when it's actually there.
Yeah, but the problem is, Peter, reality disagrees. At least disagrees with you, and it's been disagreeing for 5 years.
Reality agrees with me. You look at a poll of individuals and ask individuals what their greatest economic concern is. It's not unemployment. It's not health care. It's not education. It's not the environment. It is rising prices. Everybody complains about prices going up, except the Federal Reserve. They don't think they're going up fast enough.
Gentlemen,
meanwhile,
look,
the dollar hasn't rallied. Have you seen where the dollar is, the dollar index?
Peter,
all
hold
this
on one
talk,
second.
the dollar is just waiting to roll over. And when a lot of those dollars that are being held abroad come rushing back to the United States, it's going to make your head spin how fast prices go up.
Right.
And if people are complaining about higher prices now, they ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, the Fed can deny it all they want, but the reality is what it is.
Mark, I want to get your take on this inflation point because it has been scattered all across the newspapers. Everyone that I'm speaking to says they feel the inflation in their daily lives. But as Peter said, this CPI number isn't really reported. If that's the case, then why aren't people flocking to gold?
Okay, this is a great point, right? People aren't flocking to gold. They're not selling treasuries. It's because there's human biases overestimate the impact of inflation on a regular basis. We go to the store, we only notice the prices that go up. We don't notice the prices that go down, or we don't notice the prices that haven't changed. We're not objective in our own observations. I mean, it's the same way you ask 90% of American males, and they're going to tell you they're above average drivers. We're just not objective. And if the distortions were that great, if the Fed and the government were really monkeying with the numbers, first of all, someone would sneak out and write a book about it and make millions. But second, the Billion Price Project, run out of MIT, no government involvement. They sample tons of prices over the internet and in other places, and they confirm basically that the government numbers are accurate. So there are a lot of behavioral reasons why people misperceive and overestimate the impact of inflation.
The government numbers don't include food prices and energy prices.
They do. That's wrong. That's wrong.
What about energy?
They include the core numbers that don't include them. But if you look at the government numbers, they claim that food prices aren't even going up and we're barely going up. These numbers are wrong. And it's not about a conspiracy. It's about the way the methodology was designed. The way they calculate the numbers makes the numbers lower than what they really are. That's
Let me get back to Jackie's point for a second, because it's an important one.
The way they were. And people have written books on it. It's
all
out
right,
there.
guys. This is a fascinating conversation. We could go on and on with it. I do appreciate your time, Mark Dow, and also Peter Schiff for sticking around, and also the very lively debate as well.